Welcome to my favorite new to me things of 2018. I appreciate your support. I'm going to have all of the product links down below. This is not necessarily products that are new in 2018, but products that I've discovered in 2018. This is the Gemini twin function die cutter and embosser machine from Crafter's Companion. I'll be honest with you, I haven't had this all that long. It just came to me at the end of November, so I haven't been able to play with all of the possibilities first, but I already love it and can't recommend it enough. It's pretty much hands-free. You just feed the plates in there in that slot a little bit until it catches, and then it goes through on its own. No hand cranking required. Amazing, especially if you have disabilities or problems in your arms. You just gotta make sure to catch the plates on the other side. And it does beautifully. It cuts intricate dies and everything. Again, I haven't had a chance to play with all the different functions or all the accessories and plates that came with it, but I'm already going to recommend it because I love it. Now, mine came to me secondhand, courtesy of my husband, who is a bargain hunter and found a used machine for me on Facebook Marketplace, and it looks great. So I will have a couple of links down below to the Gemini and the Gemini Junior from Consumer Crafts, which is the best price that I have found for the Gemini. I've also seen in some of my crafting groups, people mention that they do go on sale and or clearance at different places like Hobby Lobby periodically, so just keep your eyes out if you're interested in one. The next item on my favorite things discovered in 2018 is the Spellbinder's magnetic pickup tool that you can see in the top right hand corner of my craft mat. Essentially, it is a magnet to hold your dies in place when you're working on big projects. It's kind of gem diamond shaped here. It's plastic, it's light blue, it has a big magnet inside of it that helps to hold your dies into place. I find it really helpful in particular because, as you can see, I am die cutting multiples from this set here. I do make large batches of cards. A lot of them are the same thing, so it's a lot of tedious die cutting over and over again the same image. I find this really helpful when I have things to die cut, but I'm not using the whole die set. So I can just keep the dies out that I'm using from the set, and I can kind of leave the other ones there. You can see on my magnet up at the top of the screen. Those ones I'm not using, so I'm just I have the ones that I'm using isolated, and I can put them on the magnet. I know they're safe, and I can keep grabbing them from there over and over again. It makes my die cutting projects a lot easier. The next item on my list is the Teflon Bone Folder. You may have heard me refer to this before in previous videos, saying that I didn't think that I would ever spend that kind of money on a Teflon bone folder. They normally range from $20 to $25. But I was wrong. This is something that has also come to me fairly recently. I've only had it for about 2 weeks, but I already love it and couldn't wait to recommend it to you. I didn't want to wait until 2019 to recommend this. I found it at Hallmark Scrapbook, and I'll have the link for you down below. They were running a special on this bone folder. This is their branded bone folder on Black Friday, and it was only $9.99. Their normal price is around $20 for this, so it was an amazing deal. I just needed a little bit more to bump me over to free shipping, so I figured, what the heck, and I am sure glad that I did. Let's see. I did happen to notice that they do currently have a sale on this again. I think it's around $13 or $14 as of this airing, so definitely do check that out down below. It scores beautifully. It slides right over the paper. When you actually crease it down the actual score line there, it scores it completely. You don't really have to keep going back over it over and over again. It definitely does not leave a mark on your paper, which was something that I'd always heard other people talk about and was like, that's probably not true. It's definitely true. I love how the crease end of the bone folder also has a rounded end too. I've used that a couple times to crease certain things down. I really like this. You can see I'm grabbing my current, or what I had as a bone folder before this one. I liked it just fine. It definitely is not remotely the same thing. The Teflon bone folder actually has a really neat little point on it, and it fits just perfectly in my Martha Stewart scoring board. I don't believe that they make the Martha Stewart one anymore, but that's the one that I have, and it fits just perfectly in there. And again, my current bone folder had that rounded edge. It wasn't perfect. This one is excellent. I can't recommend it enough, and I hope that you check it out. And the next thing that I have to show you isn't exactly crafty, but I use it in my craft area all the time. It's these lens wipes from Zeiss. They're for glass products. I use them to help clean up messes and things, most notably ink. It does help quite a bit with ink stains and ink messes and things on surfaces that's safe to put rubbing alcohol. These do smell quite heavily of rubbing alcohol. While it doesn't say on the packaging, and I doubt that it's sterile enough to use for swabbing for your injections per se, it is quite heavily alcohol. So if you are sensitive to smells, just be aware of that. You can't buy these from Walmart online, but I'm going to link their listing for this product down below anyway, in case you want to click on it and take a peek. As you can see, I'm using it here to scrub at my stamp platform. You do have to put some elbow grease in it, and it won't make it look perfect. It's not a miracle, but it definitely helps a lot. I use it in my stamp platform and on my craft mat. Let's see. I have found this for sale in other places online, but Walmart by far has the best price. So check them out first if you can. Our Walmart has an optical office right in it. So if I can't find these in the eye care aisle, I go over to optical and see if they have a display of these where I can snag a box. Love them. This, of course, segues into my next two favorite things that I have discovered in 2018. The first one is this Tim Holtz stamp platform. And I'm hesitating recommending this because they are no longer making and selling this in the United States. There's been some sort of settlement with a lawsuit regarding the Misty stamp platform, and it was agreed that Tim Holtz would not be selling this in the United States anymore. However, the suppliers that still had some from the manufacturer could still sell them until they were all gone. So there are still a few sites that have these for sale. They're a bit hard to find. I have found them from scrapbook.com currently, so I have a link for you down below if you're still interested in checking it out. I love mine. I don't know why I did not invest in it sooner. As you can see, it's a really good size. It has a nice heavy plate there on the top that you can take it off and reverse it for clear or rubber stamps. It comes with the magnets. Now the magnets are kind of breakable, but you can buy replacements. I did invest in the sleeve to store this because I store my stamp platform sideways on the floor currently. I don't have any shelving units in place for a few things yet after the move, so this sits on its side on the floor alongside like my paper cutter and square board and things like that when it's not in use. And the second thing that I need to highly recommend from the Tim Holtz Tonic line here is the glass mat, which was a new thing that came out this year. It was heavily back ordered. I think I had to wait almost 6 months to get mine. It was well worth it. It's this really nice grid black glass work surface area here. It has a white spot here on the side that you can use to hold your medium right out of the bottles or whatever, what have you. As you can see, I keep my platform backwards with the white part to my left here, the palette part to my left, so that my words are upside down in the top left-hand corner. I do that on purpose because I keep this on my desk, and on my right-hand side is my computer and keyboard, and I didn't want my wrists to inadvertently go through any paint or whatnot that I was working with if I had to type something. So for me, it was better to just keep all of that to the left instead of to the right. I do have some problems with mine keeping the feet on. I don't know if it's an adhesive problem or whatnot. I was just lifting it up to show you that. I do keep trying different glues and stuff to try to hold that back down. So I'm having a little bit of a problem with that. If it keeps up, I'm going to actually write to them and see what they recommend on that. But I love it. Can't recommend it enough. My next favorite item is actually a group of 4 items because they all kind of link together a little bit, and I thought it was easier to kind of show them all at once. The first thing that I have discovered this past year is Bristol Smooth cardstock. At first, I was kind of using it for colored pencil coloring, and it wasn't working all that great. But then someone said, try it with your Distress Oxide ink blending. So I did, and it is amazing. I'm going to show you a little bit of that right now with one of my other favorite discoveries, which is this set of fingertip ink daubers for ink blending. If you have just a little small project, these are perfect. Now I got these from scrapbook.com and I'm going to link them down below, but I do think that since I've purchased mine, they've kind of changed manufacturers or changed the way that they looked a little bit, and I haven't tried the new version yet, but these ones are really great. So I'm going to go ahead and link them down below. Anyway, as you can see, I've not even come anywhere close to using all of the daubers in there. They're really awesome. So the next thing that I like using my Bristol cardstock for is watercolor marker coloring with my Tombow dual brush markers. And that brings me to the third thing that I need to show off, which is the Tombow dual brush pens themselves. Now this is a new buy for me, a new investment in 2018. I love them. I'm not quite done collecting all of the colors. You can buy them individually or in sets. If you buy them in sets, there are some repeats though. I absolutely love these. They come with the two different ends. I'm not very great at brush lettering. That is something that I do plan to practice a bit more, but for what I do mostly with them is just coloring and then watercoloring later. So I'm going to sketch out a couple of these colors on here, and I'm going to set it aside for a second to show you the last thing, and then we'll come back to this. And the last thing that I want to show you, and it's not all going to show on the screen at the same time. I can't adjust the pole here above my head with the recorder on it without my husband, who's not here. And don't mind the stuff that I'm knocking over. Is I found this travel craft caddy on clearance at Joann's, and I can't find this exact one, but I'll link something similar down below. It has lots of great pockets. This is my coloring on the go kit. My watercoloring on the kit, to be more precise, you can see that I have a bottle of dirty paint water there. I just kind of take the lid off, and I take this with me in waiting rooms, in the car, at my daughter's games or practices or whatever. Inside this plastic case, I have everything that's stamped out and ready for me to cut, or color rather. That's already stamped out on some Bristol cardstock. So, and I use the plastic tote right as a lap work surface when I'm on the go, and I do my coloring, and then either when I'm there or I'll wait till I get home and I'm sitting on the couch, I pop up my water bottle and I grab my brush and I just do a little watercoloring. The Tombow is really great about reactivating even hours later and getting a really nice smooth blend out with it. I haven't found too many colors that give me too many trouble. So far I'm going to go ahead and recommend them all. Again, I don't have the complete collection yet. And Bristol holds up to the water really well. You can't oversaturate it, so it does take a little bit of practice to get the right amount of water, but as you can see, that blends out really nicely. So this is how I do a lot of coloring on the go, and then when I get home I die cut everything and save it for my cards. This has been a lifesaver. I can even fit like my keys and my wallet in some of these pockets here on the caddy, so I don't have to take my whole purse with me. I've even put my latte in there as well. So that is the next batch that I have to recommend. Links down below. Now we have this synthetic chamois that I found at Harbor Freight one day when I was out shopping with my husband, but you can buy it online, so I'll leave a link for it down below. It is 3 square feet of synthetic drying towel that I've cut into smaller pieces to use as a stamp chamois. And I have been using mine. As you can see, it's nice and stained there. I'm comparing it right now size-wise to the Lawn Fawn chamois. Mine is almost twice the size, and I got probably 8 to 10 different sections out of mine. I don't happen to know offhand. And I've been giving pieces away like crazy, so I don't have them right now to count. There's definitely enough to almost a lifetime supply for yourself. Use one, toss it in the wash, or get a big package and split it with a friend. Love it, and a huge money saver in the craft room. Next up is the Tim Holtz Tonic collaboration. Again, these are the scissors. One of the blades has a little serrated edge there. These are great for fussy cutting. I picked up mine at Hobby Lobby. This is the medium size here, and I'll have it linked down below to another online source. I happened to be out shopping at a physical store and got my pair on sale. I love them. This is another case where I can't believe it took me so long to invest. They are technically supposed to be stick-free. I don't find that they're completely stick-free, but they really do clean up very well. So I do recommend them. They're easy to hold, easy to use. They cut beautifully, and they cut lots of things. I've even used them to cut my craft dies apart in a pinch when I couldn't get to my die snips. So definitely worth the investment, especially if you can get them on sale. They have a nice grippy handle there as well. Down to the last two, I promise. Thanks for sticking with me this long. The first one to show you is Lawn Fawn glue tube. I love this. I'm sorry I don't have a prettier tube to show you. I do. This is I'm down to my last one. It's well used. I do have more on order, but it's not here. I love the tip. I can get large dots of glue. I can get teeny tiny little dots of glue. I can get lines of glue in whatever thickness I like, depending on what pressure. This is a very liquid, wet glue, and I find that it's perfect. You get a lot of control with this tube here, perfect for getting the right amount of glue that you need for your project. The downside is this is a bit pricey. It's $4 or more for this tiny little half-ounce tube, so I do find that I can't use it for everything. I do still use quite a lot of other glues as well. And the next item is Nouveau Crystal Glaze. This is not a new product, but it's a new product for me. This is an alternative to glossy accents for me. I had such a hard time with my glossy accents bottle getting clogged. I love the product. I do not like the bottle. I even had issues with the little pin tip getting clogged if I moved it to another bottle as well. So I'm really glad that somebody suggested this to me. Just like the Lawn Fawn glue tube, there's a lot of control here with how much product that you can get out the tip. You can get pretty much any size dot that you want. It dries really nicely, just like glossy accents, only it's a lot easier to use. So if you struggle with that as well, I highly recommend that product too. And that concludes the list. Thank you so much for your support and encouragement. It means so much to me. Again, products are going to be linked down below. If you have any questions, comments, whatnot, feel free to leave those, as well as any suggestions of things that I haven't tried yet. Thanks again. Happy holidays and a very happy new year from us. Take care. Bye-bye.